to have to. We're going to have to not only wake up, but we're going to have to do something. What that is, we shouldn't talk about it here. I think we all kind of know, but we're going to have to do something. We are all at this point, and we talked about this before. We are all sitting ducks. We're just waiting. We all have targets on our backs. And, unfortunately, there are a lot of us, not us, but there's a lot of black people in our community. I made a post the other day about, are you considered to be radical if you're pro-black? Believe it or not, that comment came from somebody who was black and somebody I'm related to. Told me that I was they wanted to do something with me, but they said that I have to leave the radical stuff out of it. And I was like, am I radical or am I pro-black? Because to me, radical is what some of us will see on our pages. We do have a lot of radical people we're associated with who are white people this, cracker this, and then white Becky and all. I don't do any of that kind. To me, there's no point in doing that because then it takes away from what we really need to be doing.
But, that kind of crazy being that you're saying what you're doing is radical, but yet you see girls stripping and having, all kinds of crap on their page. I would consider that radical.
It is radical, but that's the times that we live in. They rather see that because that's what they want. They would rather see black women stripping and twerking and all that other stuff because that keeps us distracted. It keeps us lullified. Sure. It keeps us entertained. It keeps us safe for them. As long as they're dumb, dead, and just completely just distracted, they're no threat to us. Keep them twerking, no biggie. And so Benny says, this is why I say we waste a lot of time trying to convince them to notice us and our pain and suffering versus spending that energy on convincing us that we actually have a problem because not all of us realize or see our situation as problematic. No. And you talk about this a lot. A lot of us are just going through the motions like, hey, there's no problem. I actually talk to some people and I see the attitudes in a lot of people that I know. Well, I'm that special black. That doesn't pertain to me. Right. I don't see a problem. I have white friends, Asian friends, and they all love me. Those are your problems. But the minute they get gaffled up by the man, they want to tell you all about it. It's like, wait, I thought you was that special black. What happened? And to me, it is funny. I think it's funny when it happens to them because it's like, those that didn't pertain to you, but what had happened was, And so Joey says some black people support things that doesn't benefit them all the time. But we've been for example, let's take integration. I always have a hard time saying that. Or desegregation. We were taught to believe or made to believe somehow that integration benefited us. You are now free to roam about the country. You are free to now go live with white people. They didn't say in harmony, but go live with white people. You may now drink after them in their own water fountains. Oh, look at that. You are a special kind of black. And so, that didn't benefit us. I think we can now know that but integration did not benefit us. And then Jonelle said, there's no hiding from the super snooper. They got devices for you. You can't even fathom for listening. They make mechanical flies, bees, etc. Not to mention your cell phone. Watch the movie IT with, let's see. Where'd I go? IT with Pierce Bronson. Our unity is sufficient. The God is truly with us in person. We must tune in and just unify and build. This Caucasian world is in a rapid decline. None can stop the righteous. No, I absolutely agree. And it's funny because when I speak to my father and let's say the phone will get disconnected, the call will get disconnected and we'll call back. He says, they tapping my phone. We got to be careful what they're saying on the phone. And my dad has said this for years and I just laugh. But now I'm like, well, I think he's probably on to something, although we're not ever really talking about, my dad can get kind of, he can go there sometimes. Although we're not dropping any, secrets that I know of. And so Joe says, we got to stop acting like the system is for us. The system wasn't thinking of us from the beginning. Never, ever, not one time. Even as we were coming through the middle passage, it never was, oh, you know what? We're going to acquire these lovely black people. Let's take them and make some laws that are going to be beneficial to them. No, it was like, let's make the laws all beneficial to us, okay? Forget those black people. We just need them bending over and picking cotton. The rest is, we'll just improvise as we go. However, we will shove this Bible down their throat every Sunday and just, pick apart the stuff we want them to know, like obey your master and then, do what you got to do. Take an ass whooping and a raping here. And then when you get to heaven, it'll be all right.
Wait. How can you say that about the Bible when you have Bishop Eddie Long and Bishop so-and-so and Bishop this and Pimp that and Bishop this, and they're the ones sending the message? I don't see a lot of white people preying on us in regards to religion.
Well, they don't have to prey on us anymore. White people, they set the foundation. Who did they have on the plantation that was giving us the word if it wasn't the master? It was the black man. There was a preacher with a Bible in his hand, and he was the one that was reading us the specific parts of the Bible.
Any preacher named Creflo Dollar has my dollar.
Any Creflo Dollar has your dollar?
That's
Creflo
right.
Dollar ain't got my dollar. Okay?
Just doing that. But isn't that like an oxymoron, as we say, within our own community?
Yeah, but those are the things.
They use our own people against us
always,
in regards to
always. And then so Benny says you'll always be considered radical when you go against the grain that is society and the convenient status quo. Yeah, absolutely. But I just thought, wow, I'm radical because I'm talking about the betterment of black people. He's my family member, so I couldn't really call him a coon, although I've come close a lot. But then that wouldn't be very nice of me. So I said, yeah, okay, whatever. And so Benny also say, so when they call you radical, wear it as a badge of honor. I actually do, but I'm like, I'm saying the things I'm saying on your behalf. I know for a fact that you've been this family member. You've been spread eagle as driving around in your nice, luxury vehicle, and the police have pulled you over for absolutely no reason. You've been spread eagle with your three-piece suit on.
I thought you were going to say something else, but go ahead.
Oh no, with your three-piece suit on. Asifa, what did I do now? Mm-hmm. You didn't do anything, but yet you calling me radical because I'm talking about the, betterment of black people. But okay, some people have to learn the hard way.
Well, Dee, when you talk about radical, there are people that are calling you a whole lot worse on the different shows.
Yeah, we do different shows, and people call me all kind of stuff. But hey, they ain't talking about you. Then I don't know.
You ain't doing your job.
You ain't doing your job, I guess. But they keep listening though.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's see. Oh, I see the comments are popping up. Joe says, some black people some people accept other races and cultures before we love and accept our own. That has always been the case. As I said, as we got the pass to go roam about the country and go move into the white neighborhoods when they didn't even want us there, we're like, forget you black people. Mm-hmm. I was going to be over there with Miss Ann and them. And Miss Ann and them took off with white flight. It was like, yeah, right, sucker. We're not living next door to you. And it is said, and it's a known fact that that's what happened. That's why our neighborhood's dilapidated, because we was like, I'm out. But before then, we had nice neighborhoods. We policed our own neighborhoods. We did our own thing.
Well, the funny thing is you bring that up. I was watching and doing my research on YouTube, and they were talking about Atlanta. Remember back in the 90s?
I'm going to turn so y'all can see Donovan. Yeah. Somebody said they want to see him, too.
Yeah. In the 90s, Atlanta was like the black Mecca, right? Mm-hmm. Now they're saying don't come to Atlanta because Atlanta has undesirables that have moved in. Now, there's a difference between niggas and black folks.
Yeah.
Okay. And the lady was saying, and a lot of people that were saying that the video, like, Atlanta's not what it used to be. People from New York have come down there. When a black person moves in your neighborhood, in general, they bring it's like what's happening here in Moreno Valley in my town. You had LA people move out here, but they brought their badass gangster-minded kids that just tears up the neighborhood. So it's funny that you're saying how the gentrification of neighborhoods and things that happen, but we do it to ourselves because we don't want to say anything to keep the community at a standard.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I do agree with that to a degree. Yeah, some of it we do to ourselves, but you take people who have been living in the worst conditions since we've gotten here. Yeah, there was a time when we had our own neighborhoods and stuff. I mean, we were still oppressed, but at least we were together. And so you've been living amongst the people who have been denied jobs, who have fathers have gone to prison. When they get out, they can't go to get a job. And so, then crimes go up. While the fathers are gone, the mothers are left to raise the children. She thinks she can raise a man, but she can't raise a man. And so we know the downward spiral what happens in our community. So that obviously we have to fix, but
or you're playing that dope game, and you're bringing that lifestyle into a suburban neighborhood.
It's to some people it's called survival. I'm not saying it's right, but we know that systemic and institutional racism exists.
Okay.
And so that's what has happened to us, and we've been victim of it, and we've been victimizing ourselves due to it. So no, I hear what you're saying, absolutely. Okay. And then, so, let's see, Joe says, nah, Queen, you a truth teller. Well, I thank you. I try. And my information really just comes from listening to the greats, like your Dr. Claude Anderson, your Farrakhan's, my father.
Mr. Coulter, yes.
Studying about Marcus Garvey. These are what I'm saying are no new ideas of just, trying to get the word out of people that have come before us who are trying to get it out. And Jonelle says, it's where we put our energy. If you have the will to work your vision and idea against all odds, nothing can stop you. We are born in adversity from a people of adversity. We haven't been, we haven't been crushed in over 400 years, and we still rising against a pale nation trying to hold us back. Every day is a war, and victory is ours. All players are written in scriptures. False prophets and the wicked white nation are losers. Their future is void and ruined. We just got to endure to the end as we work to build for self against all odds. Yes, absolutely. We know we got issues. For us to sit up and say black people are perfect, we don't have anything wrong. Everybody's just doing everything to us. Come on. We know we have issues, but our issues are not impossible to solve. We have to solve them. There is no, as Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, and everybody said, there's no mystery God. There is no ghost. There is no, spirit that's going to come save us. There is no white person who's going to say, you know what, fellow white people, we've been doing these black people wrong. Let's stop. Let's give them all their 40 acres and a mule. Let's stop being racist against them. Let's just stop. They're not going to do that. So we got to save ourselves, right? And then Joey says, I thought he was a light-skinned guy. They thought you were a light-skinned guy. Does he talk like he's white?
No, just educated. Thank you very much.
He says he's just educated. Yeah. Benny says, I love, value, and respect your efforts to positively enlighten, open the eyes of our people. And please be encouraged, and please do not stop. Love you and what you're doing. I thank you so much for that. I love you as well. It's just, honestly, a lot of people, they come to this, and I'm waking up a lot in the last couple of years, but I've always been this way. I was sort of kind of like a thorn in my mom's side, and that she was like, you're just like your dad. I always was, trying to fight for people, especially black people, even through high school, college, even now. It just was always something that I did. I don't know how not to be that, and I could tell Al, he's not on here now, but
because he's at the football game.
Yeah, he's at the football game. I'm not at the football game, but I tell him, I said, I don't know how to be anything else. I wish sometimes I could just say, you know what? I'm a special black. That doesn't pertain to me. I've never experienced racism. I sometimes wish I could do that and just watch all the Tyler Perry stuff and all the I just wish I could, but I just can't. I don't know how to not be who I am. I can't. And so Jonelle says, we must look at ourselves, see our issues, come up with solutions, and educate ourselves and our people. Our movement is self-improvement. It's on us to check everything that's happening to us. I see it's freezing up a little bit. It's the man. It's the FBI. They've targeted me as a B-I-E. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's freezing up. It's really freezing. Oh, my daughter just texted me.
That's why.
I think that's why. A text was trying to come through. I apologize for that. So anyway, yeah. No, absolutely. We have to educate ourselves. Oh my God. I got mad at somebody the other day because, they were trying to convince me of something. I said, what the problem is? We don't educate ourselves. We want to take everything at face value. We need to educate ourselves and stop letting everybody else educate us. So I agree with you, Jonelle. And Dean says, "Hey, Queen," said, "Laugh out loud." That's Little Wayne. Little Wayne said that. What did Little Wayne say? And so Jody says, "I remember where I grew up. We lived there over 30 years. And when we moved, my mother was looking for the door key. When she found it, it was on top of the mantle. It had dust on it. Back then, we didn't lock our, Seymour, we didn't lock our doors unless we went out of town."
Right. You didn't need to.
I mean, I remember a time like that. We didn't really lock our doors.
My grandmother's
either.
house, there's always somebody home or something. You didn't need to.
Shit, mess around and lock your doors now. I not only lock the front door, I lock the screen door, and I lock my bedroom door. I mean, I just do,
Well, in our neighborhood here in California, a lot of people are of a Hispanic background, and they're used to cartels in Mexico. So they've come to America, and they are actually building jails for themselves. So you go to their, if you go in front of their yards, like back in the day, you can go across everybody's yard.
Yeah.
And everybody's yard looked the same pretty much. And you can just walk across it. It's no big deal. But these folks have come over here and changed the game and have made fortresses and locked themselves in like the cartel's going to come and get them.
Well, that's how it looks in a lot of parts of LA. It's fortresses where there's bars
on the windows.
And you are starting to see that here in the Inland Empire as well. So we don't live in that time anymore to where you could just, hey, have you guys seen the house key? No, I haven't seen it in years.
Right.
And so Dean says, "Color purple these days be over soon." Yeah, I mean, heaven lasts forever. Yeah,
right,
that is so true. And a lot of us are still walking around with that. Well, we just gonna pray about it. That's let go and let God.
Handkerchief heads.
Yeah, we just God's gonna take care of it. God is like, if you Negroes send one more prayer up here without doing something, it's gonna be on and cracking.
Yeah, you have to help yourself.
Yeah,
first.
God is like, I'm waiting on you. How you know it's even in heaven? How many of us how many of us know somebody who went to heaven and says, y'all, that's the real deal? And you hear about a lot of people who have died and went to heaven and came back. Well, if heaven was all that, why did you come back? I thought it was supposed to be like the bomb, Why did you come back? And Joey says, on my Facebook page, I always say, research it for yourself. Yes! Research it for yourself. Even those who follow the Bible, it says, study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth. So it's telling you, study, read it. But a lot of people go to church, the pastor says, take your drawers off, light them on fire, and then go run out in the middle of the street. It's in the Bible. All right, come on, Sister So-and-so, you heard him,
Well, speaking of that, if you want to know a good example of what's wrong in our churches in the black community.
So y'all can see that Donovan is not light-skinned today.
Yeah, no, I'm not light-skinned, I'm chocolate. But a lot of things that's wrong with our churches. You want to see a good movie, watch Which Way Is Up with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And he plays three characters, and he plays the grandpa himself and the preacher Lennox Thomas. And that is a prototypical black preacher.
Okay.
And what he does in the church, he's doing all this.
Yeah.
He's got the sisters in there with their legs and stuff. And it's really, just check that out. That's really a good thing if you want to find it out.
And so I had to keep adjusting my camera. But anyway, so hey, Secret Garden, long time no see. He says, big sis, keep up the hard work you're teaching right now. You know what? I thank you. I will keep this up. I haven't seen you in a while. And so Jonah says, pressure makes diamonds. Greatness is born from the womb. You who are doing in the interest of black self is motioning in divine mathematics and serving a great purpose beyond self cause. You are feeding, you are feeding the minds of the masses with liberating thoughts. So I say, all praises due to Allah for you, D. And Brother Donovan, may Allah bless you both with success beyond scope. I thank you, and I wish the same for you guys. And you know what? It's all of our duties to teach one another. It is. It's like how we hold each other accountable to moving toward doing the right thing, because we've gotten this thing in our society, especially in our community. It's not my problem. I can't tell them what to do. I'm just gonna worry about myself. I'm just doing me. No, it is our job to teach each other. This is a big mistake not to. And the dean says, "Yep, classic." The Color Purple. You almost make me want to go home and watch it, but I've seen it like 40,000 times. And Benny says, "The burden of being a person born with a purpose is a heavy weight to carry, but it's your destiny. Embrace it. You're great, and you keep me fired up." I thank you so much for that. But yes, like I said, I've always been this way. Even when I was in beauty school, I went to cosmetology school. They didn't have black equipment or products for us to use, and they kept thumbing their nose at us. And so I got all the sisters in there together. I said, I'm gonna put this petition together. I need y'all to sign it, and I'm gonna go in there. I was 19. Matter of fact, I think I was only 18 at the time. Walked in there to the administration and said, "We've been asking you guys for black products and equipment so we can learn how to do black hair with the money that we're spending in here."
And the most likely what your clientele is going to be.
Yeah, and it was for the time that I did hair. And I said, I got this petition. I'm willing to go to the Press Enterprise, which is our local newspaper, and tell them what you guys are doing if you guys do not get us what we need. Do you know, later on that afternoon, the administration walked over to me. She said, "Here's a list, any and everything you need. Write it down and we will go buy it." And the rest was history. So I've always been that way, but everybody else in there was scared. Like, well, I'm like, nah, my mom was paying hard-earned money for me to go here, so I need my stuff too.
Yeah,
so,
and do you realize at RCC right now? Did you go to RCC?
I went to Gina Robert.
Oh, Gina Robert. Okay. I was saying RCC has a beauty program, but do you know less than 3% of students that attend that are African American?
I didn't know that. You would think that there would be more black people, but
very sad. We're just not participating. We
should, though. And so Joe says, "Now my sister is when religious folks tell me don't believe everything I read and then tell me to read the Bible." Yeah, that's what they do.
Very true.
Or
very true.
If you say, "Well, I'm not religious and I don't believe in that," well, the Bible says, didn't you just hear what I said? Mm-hmm. You're trying to tell me to your proof out of a Bible that has been rewritten and just touched by everybody. It says Shakespeare, King James, he finagled the Bible a few times, just like
Ray Lewis.
Oh,
he's adding a couple chapters.
You say Ray Lewis has added a couple of chapters to the Bible. Talking about it, one knee is for the team, right. And 2 knees is for Jesus.
That's right. He's rewriting it, updating it.
And Donovan says, "Watch this live on YouTube, News from the Edgemont and Demetri K." So yeah, Donovan is going to produce it later on, and you guys will be able to see the whole thing. You won't see the green screen. You'll actually see images behind me. So Donovan is awesome at doing this. I appreciate him. It was actually his idea for me to move outside of my room and take it to a larger scale.
Well, and the reason I did that, because you have a message that only your Facebook friends are seeing. Right. And you have a global thing that could help a lot of us.
I'm global?
Well, yeah, you're on the internet. You put it on the internet. And
that's right. We're doing a podcast.
Right, we're doing a podcast.
I apologize for ignoring the podcast people, but I'm global now.
Yeah,
Mama.
but you put that out there and the message gets out there to more people. And if you can just affect one, hey, you've done your job.
And that's all I said when I first started doing this. If one person will watch and listen, then my job is done. You guys see some people live. They're like, shoot, I ain't saying nothing until I get 20 people on here. Yeah, and then they be drinking stuff and,
knocking chips.
Yeah. I only see 15 people. Hey, shoot, they better get on here. It's like, who are you?
Well, the good thing is I've known Dee for over 30 years, and I have been a stickler about starting on time, no matter what. Start the show and
Donovan is Mr. Military. He does not like lateness. He is... I can kind of understand why you guys would think he might be light-skinned. No,
never have, never will.
Never have, never will.
But I'm working on it.
No, you're not working on it. And Jonelle says, "God is in the mirror. You have God-given abilities. We are taught against math and reality. The dead is food for the earth. Nothing returns. Where's the evidence in truth? Go get your spirit without..." Let's see. Go get your spirit without form. Even God is called the supreme being, and we are supreme beings from the supreme being with the potential to establish and build our own heaven on earth as it is in the heavens of our minds. Word to the wise, heaven is peace of mind. You will get heaven on earth while you're living, because if evil wasn't allowed by us to reign over us, we all would be in heaven. Absolutely. We have been taught that idea that, listen, especially black people, you're supposed to suffer now. You know,
but when you're good and dead.
Yeah, but when you're dead, it's gonna be, oh gosh, you're gonna be washed white as snow. Like something's wrong with your black ass now. Mm-hmm. So when you go to heaven, you're gonna be washed white as snow. You're gonna have pie in the sky.
Yeah, there are no black angels.
Right, no black angels. You're gonna have rosy red cheeks like cherubims, and all this other nonsense. And then here we are still believing it. We're still like. I mean, I've gone to church. I spent a lot of time in my life in church, which is why I know a lot about the church. And I'm not knocking it to be mean, but the black church has helped. I mean, they probably helped some people, but overall, they haven't helped black people. They haven't. I passed by a very prominent church today, as a matter of fact, and I was trying to take a picture, but the light changed. There's a man, and I guess it was his son, standing outside his very prominent church, standing outside the church with a sign saying, "I'm hungry. I promise you guys." It was saying, "I'm hungry." Basically it was soliciting money or food. I don't know.
Like, get your ass off my property, nigga.
The church, I'm serious, the church was letting out, and everybody passed by this man that I could see. Now, I don't know if somebody finally did help him, but I'm like, wow, well, what message was you getting up in there? Here's a guy who's probably hungry and he's poor. He's figuring, well, hell, y'all Negroes in there giving a pastor money for his Bentley payment. So surely I can get a dime to eat, and everybody's just passing them up.
This wouldn't be the church that has the 20-year parking lot program?
Yes, it's that church.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, it's that the church that you guys have heard about.
Prominent on pastors of
L.A.
L.A., yeah.
Big time.
Okay, gotcha.
And so Joe says, heaven is when me and my queen is alone, and I'm me and alone.
Right on. I'm with that.
You know what? I ain't mad at you. You've been seeing all
heaven
all
must
kind
be
of
like
stars.
this.
Yeah,
that's
heaven
it. Ohio
must be.
Ohio players.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, heaven is what you make it, and big ups. Big ups to you, Joe, your queen. I am not mad at you. I think we've all been to heaven a few times.
Yes. I've been to hell too. Trust me.
Donovan say he's been to hell too. Ooh, that's our show during the week.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't see any more comments. What time you got, Donovan?
Hey, it is 16:14.
16:14, which is
4:14.
Oh, 4:14. It is 4:14. So I don't see any more comments, but I will address them as we leave here.
I'll tell you what, we're doing the podcast.
Okay. I'll turn the camera.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions people probably want to ask, they asked, how was the event with the Regina King, and did you get any ideas out of that? Okay, so we did, as I said earlier, we did go to see Regina King. She was at the Saban Theater in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, very nice theater. And she was basically talking about her life as an actress. She's been in the game for over 30 years. So she was just giving insight. And one thing that I really did love that she says that the graveyard is where dreams, where some dreams go to die. No, I'm sorry. Let me take it back. She said the comfort zone is where dreams die. That's where the dreams go to die, is in the comfort zone. And that a lot of times we're just walking around comfortable. And I see your comments. I'm going to get to them. Regina says we walk around comfortable. We have all these dreams and stuff, but it's like, that's going to take me to do something away from what I'm usually doing. I don't want to be uncomfortable. Just kind of want to, let's just take, for example, go to work, bust out my 9-10 hours a day, and then come home and just be comfortable. I do have some gifts that God has given me, but it's just going to take too much work. It's going to hurt. I don't want to be uncomfortable. And so a lot of people are afraid to venture outside of the comfort zone. So I really did love that. And she gave some insight as to if you want to make it in Hollywood, which is not really my thing, or Donovan's thing, what you need to do. Well, one of the things she said, I thought that people need to remember, there is not one blueprint to success.
Right. And as I said, there's not one blueprint to success. A lot of people think, well, it's been done before.
Right.
And so there's no need for me to do it,
Right.
Why reinvent the wheel? And I see all the comments now.
Okay, there you go.
And so, Billy, where you been? It says, I've been listening and learning. Oh, okay, you just was hiding in the background. I see you. He also say religion is the biggest BS perpetrated on human beings ever. Yes, especially on black people. We have been taught the dogma of everything. Just, and we believe it. And, like they say, black people, there's the few things you can't do. You can't talk about Barack Obama, Beyonce, or Jesus. Because you going to be in for trouble. They going to block you, delete you, excommunicate you from the Thanksgiving dinner and all of that. You do those things. But people just, they don't want to, they know it's true. But it's like, well, I've been taught that, that Jesus is white. And, all this nonsense, And so I agree with you, Billy. And Billy says, I've always thought that. Eric, what's happening? He said, hey, Miss Jackson, I like it. Speak it into existence. And Billy says, you said, I'd rather read Dr. Seuss. Same here.
Mm-hmm.
The green eggs and ham,
Sam I am.
And the Sneetches and all. Yes. I mean, some would argue it's probably the same. It's fairy tale. It's fiction. Now, as I said, I've gone to church quite a bit in my life. I think there are some good things in the Bible, but I think it also coincides with the laws of the universe and all that kind of stuff. You think positive, because a lot of times you'll see people go to church and you're like, well, they seem like they are getting, they are blessed and stuff like that. I just think it's really from being in a positive environment. You're being around positive people and all that kind of stuff. So, it's just really being in a positive environment. And we all know when you start to think positive, positive things start to happen. You start to confess positive things and they start to manifest it. I mean, it really is that simple. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in church. I know the Bible says life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So if you're going to speak death, you're going to get death. You're going to speak life, you're going to get life. You're going to speak positivity. So it's just, you have to be careful the things that you think and the things that you speak, because they do eventually manifest. So why not manifest good things? And then Billy, you say, yes, it's fairy tales. Hey, Hannah, long time no see for you too. Where you been? For those of you guys just joined, we were talking about Cam Newton, Patrick Harmon, the gentleman that was murdered by the police not too long ago. He was shot in his back as he was running. We were talking about the new, list of people, black people, the black identity extremists that are being targeted by the FBI. That was a memo that came out. It was leaked, actually, from the FBI, saying that black people or black groups are on the rise now. Black groups like Black Lives Matter and the other ones, and just different people, due to all the murders that have been taking place by the police. And so they're saying that is causing black people to, for lack of better words, wake up and say, hey, we're not going to take this anymore. And so the FBI white people, let's be honest, are scared now. And so they've started to label certain people as BIEs, B-I-E, or black identity extremists. And so you are being targeted. Also in this, the article that I read, it says actually police officers are murdered by white people more than they are black people. And they try to, I guess, attribute it to, I think his name was Micah something Johnson, the black man that killed the 5 police officers in Dallas. So they're saying those are the type of things that are starting to make them have to target and crack down on black extremists, is what they're calling us now, to make sure that there is no rise of a black messiah and that black people don't wake up and, get some get back, for a lack of better words. Because over 500 years of oppression, people are liable to say, okay, that's enough, damn it. And Hannaford says, good and bad happens at the same rate. However, what you concentrate on seems to be amplified. Absolutely. It is said that the mind and the universe, they don't make the difference between positive and negative. They both process both of them the same. So you might as well think positive. It's easy to be negative because it's just, for whatever reason it is, easy to be negative, to think negative. If I didn't have any bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all, and all that kind of stuff. And so instead of saying, what, things are going to be great, whatever the case is. So it's just easier to think negative, but it is what it is. And then Billy says, I saw that memo straight crap. Yeah. So it's out there. We know that the Trump administration is concerned about black groups, black people waking up. They want to keep us dumb, docile, and distracted. That is their goal, and they're going to do everything they can, just like they did with COINTELPRO, the Black Panthers, Marcus Garvey, and all the other black messiahs that were coming to prominence to help black people. They are going to make sure they're not going to be successful, but because for one thing, they were busted. This memo was leaked, but they were going to try to do everything they can to make sure that black people stay oppressed. As we are talking about earlier, there's a lot of money in keeping black people oppressed, to the tune of almost $1.3 trillion. There's a lot of money in that, and so yeah, they're gonna do whatever they can. And so the question that we should answer is: are we gonna let them this time? It's happened all the other times. You think about someone like Marcus Garvey. He had worldwide over 3 million black people on board until a Negro by the name of Agent 100. I forget his real name, but
right.
Agent 100, sold the brother out due to mail fraud, and the rest was history. So if Marcus Garvey can do it, surely in the day and age that we live in now, we can do it now. Although he was trying to get us to go back to Africa, but hell, we can organize here, right? And then Hannah says, low frequencies require less energy. Low equals negativities. Negative. Correct. I mean, it does. It takes a lot of energy to be positive, especially it's hard sometimes when you don't feel good, when you can't suspend what you see. You see, let's take, for instance, the bills piling up. Oh, okay, I got bills and I got money. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a job and this, that, and the other. And so I just feel terrible. I want to be positive, but I can't be positive because I see all this stuff against me and it just seems insurmountable. I don't know what to do. And so I just rather be depressed opposed to, shaking it off and saying, you know what? I'm not going to believe what I see. I'm going to believe and work toward making something else happen. So you're absolutely right, Hannah. And Joe says, did you know in the Ethiopian Bible, there is only one white character? That is the devil. Do the research, get an Ethiopian Bible. That is very interesting. I would be very interested in seeing that, but I mean, sounds about right. Right? Jonelle says, they have used religion to point people to white grave images. The sky, the ghost, the miseducation of spirit, everything but truth and reality. We are the lying, natural, divine order. Our whole being, our whole being represents Allah, God, way of life, which true religion is defined as a way of life. If so-called religion is giving you death, slavery, and degradation, you don't have the way of supreme being. Cause Allah way is life. Yeah. I mean, we haven't. I mean, we've just been told everything. As I said earlier, there's a ghost, a spirit. These things are going to save you. But as you said before, we are God. We have everything we need to save ourselves. I mean, plain and simple. There's nobody else that's going to save us but us. And as we've talked about repeatedly, religion has kept us docile. It has kept us from doing for self. It has kept us saying, somebody else is going to do it. I'm waiting for Jesus. Jesus is going to do it. Jesus is going to listen. And I'm not mocking anybody's religion. Like I said, I've been in the church for a very long time, up until last 4 years. But we just suffer from that. And that's how we are in a situation where we're always waiting for somebody to do for us what we should be and are capable of doing for ourselves. We have to get out of that. It's like, to me, it doesn't make any sense that you go and say, oh my God, my lights are going to get cut off. And the pastor says, just sow a seed of faith, sister.
Send me that $100 and it'll work out.
Yeah,
give me $100.
Sow a seed of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, my lights are going to get cut off, but the pastor's telling me to sow a seed of faith. Well, why don't I just pay the light bill? And then you sow a seed of faith.
Why didn't I think of that?
Because we're just, I mean, we are. We are. It's like we have to have a man tell us, you need to sow a seed of my Lamborghini. I mean, the seed of faith, not my Lamborghini, sister, the seed of faith.
Right.
And then when the lights get cut off, it's like, Pastor so-and-so, I sowed that seed of faith. And
I've been tithing here for 17 years, and I've never asked for anything except in this instance.
Dear brother, The benevolent fund is kind of low, brother.
We're trying to build a church, so we can't pull from that.
Build a church? How about you just pay some money? But yeah, I've heard of that. I've seen it myself. People listen. My water finna get shut off. Sister, we would love to help you. However, the benevolent fund is low. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this to the altar. You can take some of those buckets out back and take you some water.
Well, I mean, after 20-something years of talking about a parking lot, I don't know how a certain pastor gets away with. It doesn't take 20-something years to build a basic parking lot.
Well, there's a lot of people who are going to church who are just mentally dead. Your pastor done told you for 20 years they was building a parking lot and it's still gravel.
And he's on TV shows and all kinds of...
He's on TV shows, and I've never seen this dude drive the same car once. I've seen him in a Lamborghini, G-Wagon Mercedes, or another kind of Mercedes, a Bentley, and, BMW classic cars. This dude is balling on the backs of black people.
And, of course, has his church in the depressed neighborhood of the Inland Empire.
Dab middle of the hood, and the hood is just dilapidated, and he's rolling through in a Bentley.
God is good.
And so Janelle says, Nat Turner used his God-given abilities and made some true progress, so they had to remix the doctrine. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nat Turner was on to something, and guess who sold him out? It was one of us, Massa. Let me tell you what they's plotting. You're going to give me a big piece of chicken tonight, right? Because I told him,
Chicken? You mean the breast of that fat back that's on the plate?
Fat back, that hog maw. You can have that, nigga. And so Joe says, my religion is nature. Don't laugh. I can see my religion. Hey, I'm not laughing. My religion is, I go into nature too. And, I behold the beauty. And whatever brings you happiness.
Yes, no, there are some good churches out there. But unfortunately.
Oh, he's saying his is nature.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Whatever it is. But unfortunately, there are more bad churches than there are good churches. Oh, yeah, they're getting over
on the people. Mm-hmm. And so Jonelle says, Jesus don't drive your car, but you need Jesus to fix it. Amen. Right, it's just weird. We just believe the hype. But anyway, so we got 3 minutes. So I will go ahead and close out here. If you guys have anything else to say, go ahead and say it. I'm go ahead and read it. But as always, it is my pleasure to do this every Sunday. I would rather be nowhere else from 3 to roughly 4 something doing this, because I have fun doing it, chopping it up with you all. It is awesome to do. And as always, if you guys have something you want to talk about, please. And Joseph, I'm a child of Nat Turner. You know what? Me too. Please, write me, inbox me, let me know on the podcast. Send us a message if you want me to talk about something. If you want to say something to me, as you always do on the podcast, about how racist I am and how much you love me. And I've even heard that I needed to get a better hairstyle.
Whatever. Things, you guys can check Dee out on what's the name?
Demetra K.
The Demetra K on YouTube, and she'll be on the News from the Edgemont, and of course she's on Facebook. I'm going to share the podcast on some of her things. You guys take it, share it, and there's no excuse why you can't see Dee doing what she's doing. When we did the show last week, over 2,000 people saw it, and that was just on the YouTube channel. So the podcast, I didn't even look at the numbers, but it's all about just sharing information.
We going places, y'all, and I'm taking you with me. So anyway, as I said, and then so Jonelle says, peace, queen, and family, much blessings. And please, peace unto you as well. So anyway, I will let it go from here. I will see you guys around on Facebook. Please don't be a stranger. Let me know if you want me to talk about something. And thank you to those who are listening to the podcast. I appreciate you always. I will see you on Wednesday when me and Donovan chop it up. As we always do about other issues. And to YouTube, please like and share if you like what you hear and what you see. It is my pleasure always.
Send money. No, I'm joking.
Peace.
That's been the podcast for this week, you guys. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, Dee, you got to get this information out there, and people really appreciate it, because not only, if they don't have time to watch the video, they have time to listen to you and take it with them. So that's what it's about. And always, thank you so much, Donovan, for doing this. Without you, I would not be able to do this, so I appreciate you very much. Of course. That's why we're doing big things. I took you to Beverly Hills last week. Yeah, so you're in Beverly Hills. I'm going places now. So, you guys, again, every Sunday, 3 o'clock, Demetra K, check it out on the podcast. Check her out on her Facebook if you want to see her live. And you guys can see her on YouTube at any other time. We'll catch you guys again next week. The Demetra K Show.